185milessouth.com.
Smash that Patreon button.
185 Miles South, a hardcore punk rock podcast.
Pressing forces breathing down my back. I am a target. They're waiting to crack. A single movement, a single breath. Moving slowly or enter death. Rather than my back, going out that take us back. Dig it, any good, get this out, take my time, dig it.
What's up, everyone? We are back and talking hardcore. Helping out, you know him, you love him. He is the best dressed man of the pod. He is Daniel Sant. What's up, Dan?
The warrior's strong, the warrior's proud. The warrior stands at the edge of the crowd. The warrior's brave, the warrior's cool, even when he's got his back to the wall.
Also up and out, 6'2". What you gonna do? It is the mighty Posy Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's cracking?
And rounding us out, King of the Windmill, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It is Kevin Hare. What's up, dude?
What up?
What up? What up? Okay. 2 weeks ago, we did the award show. Last week, we did the Festivus airing of grievances on Patreon. God damn. And this week, we are going to talk the greatest songs of 2024. We're going to do a Super 7. Dan, you want to speak real quick on 2024? Or did we do enough of that on the award show episode?
We did enough of recapping that it's a great year, but as people may know, the award show is kind of like Zach plus a little bit of input formulates the short list. This is where we can go book and absolutely bring in our things that we think should have been in those categories.
Yeah, fair. Chris, overall, 2024, what were your thoughts?
I said this in the group chat, but I felt like, especially going back over and listening to all this stuff, I felt like 2024 is the year of the demo. Like there was a bunch of stuff that, new stuff, like new bands, new projects, whether they be demos or, what constitutes demos nowadays, which is just skipping to the digital EP, but a lot of cool new stuff from people. I hope it's not, return of the demo core and that like some of these acts like stick around and do some more stuff. But yeah, a lot of exciting new stuff that I'm hyped to talk about.
Kevin, thoughts on 2024?
Yeah, I thought that it was a cool year. One of the things that I noticed was that, going off what Chris was saying, that there were definitely a lot of new bands, or if not new, like new to me bands, where maybe I heard of it or maybe I heard a little bit before, but this year it was like kind of the stuff that I became obsessed with. A lot of it I had just, casually liked, or maybe even actually liked, but not to the level that I liked it this year. And then also just a lot of new bands and stuff too. So I think that it was a cool year. It's kind of a transitional year in a lot of ways, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a pretty good, like, I think it's set up where next year is going to be a gigantic year for hardcore. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, to play off both your points, there were so many good demos this year and a lot of good EPs. And if this is a transitional year and any of that stuff catches fire, we're in for a treat. And 2025 might be an epic year. We'll see. Okay, Dan, let everyone know the rules of the Super 7.
Super 7 is we go in a fantasy football style draft. Chris picking first, me picking second, Kevin picking third, and Zach in the Nard Curse spot. We go in turn. We pick songs. Now, the same band can be selected, but the same song cannot. And at the end, we have 7 songs each on our little mixtape playlists. And then you, the beautiful 185 listener, you chime in when we post these and you tell us whose list you think was best. And then you also tell us some barnacle-ass shit that we forgot this and this, but that wasn't even this year. Or you're going to tell us why we're wrong. And we'll accept that. So yeah, chime in the comments.
It's best if you chime in and tell us we're the barnacles. You know what I mean? And we miss some good shit. So, okay, Chris, what is the greatest hardcore song of the year 2024?
All right, I'm gonna back up a year ago first. So 2023, Scarab dropped 2 phenomenal EPs. Every song off of these EPs were like so sick, and that like none of them really like I couldn't decide which one I wanted to pick for my Super 7, so I just skipped them and went a different direction. I still feel guilty about that. So I'm going to right that wrong. I'm going to take Scarab first. So again, like last year, we have, 100% success rate. Like they're batting 1,000. Got 2 tracks to pick from, and it's kind of a coin flip. I'm going to go with Tetanus, and I kind of went back and forth on this one, but ultimately I landed on Tetanus because so their first EP or demo, demo or EP or whatever it's called, they have the first track had what we affectionately referred to as the turkey gobbler vocal effect, which sounded so sick, despite turkey gobbler sounding a little bit negative, but it sounded so sick. This song Tetanus returns to the turkey gobbler vocal and triples down on it, basically like hits 2 gutturals and then does it over like an actual line as he's yelling "fuck your identity" at the end, and it sounds so gnarly. The song in full has a super quick intro where singer just basically grunts at the one beat, and then fast verse. The chorus is harder than most bands' breakdowns. On that chorus, the lyrics are kind of sparse and give, lets the riff breathe a little bit, which is really cool. And then, back in the verse, when it comes back to the chorus again, and then the breakdown, as you would expect, it just gets even harder, just like absolute fight music. Again, the vocals are kind of sparse to let that riff and the beat just play, like they're when they play the song live, there's not a ton of conflict of like, okay, do I want to punch my friend in the face as hard as I can right now, or do I run up front and sing along? They let you alternate. Yeah, banger of a song. I feel like this track, they're just like firing on all cylinders and kind of just like rubbing in your face how good they are.
Yeah, both these songs are great. This one, I believe, was up for breakdown of the year, possibly. And Chris, there was actually 3 songs this year because the One Scene Unity comp had a Scarab song on it as well. So, but yeah,
damn,
3 for 3, and Scarab still batting 1,000. Every song sick. Kevin, what do you think about this?
Scarab is the best band in hardcore. They're the best band from Philadelphia in a decade. These songs on the tape are a bit more raw, I think, than the other ones. I listened to some of them back to back today, and Tyler's vocals sound a little bit more like harsh and crazy on it, and I think that they just sound psychotic. And yeah, it's just I hate to say that it's more per the course for them, because that's unfair, but also like you said, they're batting 1,000. I'm definitely biased, but I will proud to be biased on it. And I'm unbelievably excited for the LP. I think that they're recording it. First, they told me December. I don't think that they're recording it yet, but I'm pretty sure they're recording it pretty soon. So I can't wait to hear the full thing. I know it's just going to be crazy.
How could it not be? Dan, what do you think about this?
It's so sick. I can understand Chris being on the do I take Tetanus or do I take Untitled? Because Untitled is just as good as this, what can be said? Scarab batting 1,000, as we've said. But Chris, if you're my friend, please don't punch me in the face. Even if Scarab tries to make you do it, put your arm around me, drag me up front, let's sing along.
That's right. Drag him in the pit. Drag him in the pit like it's a Pennywise pit. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. You just got to follow what the hardcore Holy Ghost makes you do. And if the hardcore Holy Ghost says smash Dan, sorry, Dan. It's Scarab, bro.
I hope that the hardcore...
Sure.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say, I am sure I've punched my friends in the face during Scarab. Like, that is a safe bet.
I just hope that the hardcore Holy Ghost makes you guys go and listen to the Scarab song on the comp because it's just as good as these two. So, okay, Dan, let's go to you for your number one.
All right. So, yeah, there's many a tune that could be number one, but I'm going Dynamite Stomp. Like, this track is just so ill. Like, starts out with just a fucking sick. I hate to say this, but this is like just will let everyone know at home what it's like. It's like a hard 2-step part, really good. And then the lyrics are just so sick. No gimmicks, no use. We have nothing left to prove. Seen it all before, know the fucking score. In every drop of blood, I will be hardcore. It's so sick. Then it busts fast for a bit and then breaks again. And Tom, Violent Reaction, comes in to finish it off with the same refrain that I just talked about. And it's, what, a minute 30 at the most? I don't even know how long it is. But it's a short song, and it is it's a minute 40, sorry. And it's just such a mover, and I really love all of this EP, but this is my highlight from the EP. And Dynamite Crew, fuck you. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's a good song, dude. Youth Crew Toms, catchy riff, catchy vocal hook, under 2 minutes. I don't know what else you can ask for. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, this was in my top two, and I knew that going with Scarab, I was going to get swooped by Dan for this one, but I'm happy you took it, and it's represented. This song is just such a catchy hardcore anthem. Like that sing along, the way the vocals bounce over the beat, just like it's a dogpiler. Super sick band.
Okay, let's go to you, Kevin, for your number one.
So this was unbelievably easy for me. I knew what my number one was going to be. I was very much hoping that Zach would not be in front of me because I thought he was the only person that might take it. But I'm going to go the last song on the Kriegshög LP.
Oh, love
it. This song it's a song that it's structured around one riff, but the riff is unbelievable. And then the song is just basically giving you that riff at the same tempo in different ways. It doesn't even change it. It doesn't slow it down or anything. It's just maybe this time it'll be a little bit of a higher octave, or this time it'll be just the bass or whatever. And it just pounds it over and over. I just love this song so much. I've listened, it was easily my most listened to song that came out this year. I would just sit and listen to it on repeat. The whole record is great. And if I didn't get the song, I would have figured out another one to pick. But this song, like I said, I knew that there was no other choice for me. This was easily the number one. I was very hoping that it was going to win Riff of the Year. Sad that it didn't, but we'll take Breakdown of the Year. That's not too bad. But yeah, Kriegshög, the last song on the LP, I don't know what it's actually called, so that's what it will be forever called to me.
Yeah. It didn't win Best Breakdown, but it won Best Breakdown, Its Ugly Cousin. So that's sick. Yeah, the bookends of this record are so good. Like, obviously, the whole record is great, but that first song and that last song are two of the greatest songs of the year. And this one is like the perfect way to go out. Like, it builds to it, and then they just have this perfect riff and milk the fuck out of it. And like you said, like, there's that part where it just goes to the bass, and it's so nice. And then when it hits back in with everything, you're like, God damn, dude. This is a great one, dude. I love it.
I could just picture a crowd, just the full crowd raging. Like, if I ever see them play this, I'm stage diving, the whole crowd raging. Like, it just, every time it just plays in my head.
Yeah, like, it's one of those songs where, like, you pump your fist, like, at your house by yourself. Like, it's so sick, dude. What do you think, Dan?
Do you have lotion in your hand when you're doing that? Okay. This song and the first song are on my short list. So Kevin swooped. I mean, like, from the get-go, when this Kriegshög LP dropped out, I was like in the group chat, like, check this record out. We've got to talk it, and it's not faded off. It's only gotten stronger on, and then I've got my little playlist of like potentials and just like listening to Kriegshög loud as fuck at work today. Maybe that's why we didn't do $1 billion at the work today, is because I was just blasting Kriegshög instead of Christmas music.
Hey, at least the record cover is red, so they are in the Christmas season.
That's right.
Hey, and shout out to Masaki for coming on the pod. If you guys missed that, check out the awards episode. We do a short interview with him, so that's super sick. Okay, I'm going to take my number one. I am going to take the song Mind Control by the band Collateral. Came out on their 7-inch We Still Know. And goddamn, dude, when this song comes in, it like reminds me of, there's that famous like Floor Punch advertisement where it has like the hooded dude on it. And it's like, do you remember hardcore? Well, I do. And like, this just seems like a litmus test to me. Like, play this song for someone. If they like it, they like hardcore. If they don't, they like something else. Like you might like something that gets called hardcore underneath like this big tent, and it is hardcore. Like, it is a big tent, but like, as far as like straight up roots hardcore, the real deal, like this is it. And like the recording is bright. It sounds awesome. It's so aggressive. Like, I don't know what to say. And then it gets so catchy too, right? Like, at the end of the day, they'll never take what's inside. Over and over, they try to take what's mine. Over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, it sounds like he's just going for it in the studio, right? Like, it's not like super rigid. Like, people write rigid lyrics and they go into like execute what they have practiced. And this seems like there's some of that, but then also like he went for it, and like the best shit is that, you listen to Youth of Today, it's like, yeah, he wrote really good lyrics, but also he went in the studio and he like let that fire out, dude. And like the singer does that here, the guitarist, like this is another one like Scarab and Collateral have not missed. It's all like batting 1,000 shit. And I just got to give it to him, dude. This is like, I don't know, best straight up hardcore song of the year. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, the part in the middle where it drops to like an almost like mid-tempo banger part, and then like you said, you just did the flow. That is so catchy but so hard. Like it makes you clench your fist, and you're just going with it. It's so good. This was on my potentials for sure.
What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, this band is awesome. With this record, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of a sum of all the parts. Like, none of the songs really stand out amongst the others just because it's all great. But I saw them at FYA and they had to play after Balmora, who opened, and the Balmora set was unbelievable. And then like super crazy, especially for like going on at 11:45. And then you have a straightforward hardcore band covering the Bad Brains next, and they more than held their own. Like the entire place was moshing and the vibes were on. And it was kind of just like, it was almost like not that it was like a competition or anything, but it's like, okay, the heavier stuff, they had their turn, and now we're just gonna kind of have like the straightforward roots lane, and it was just fucking awesome. So this band is great. They got the spirit. I love them.
That rules, dude. It is hard to follow up a set like that, I'll tell you. So in 2009, Sound of Fury Retaliate played right after Touche Amore, like right when they were blowing up. And like I was watching their set and I was like, oh, we're fucked. You know what I mean? But like we held our own. That was in Oxnard. It was good. It was on the smaller stage. It was all good. But then like one of those ones in Santa Barbara, we played right after like the Minority Unit last show, and it was like, okay, we're fucked. And yes, we were fucked for real. It's like that was a tumbleweed ass night, dude. So hey, much love to Collateral for holding it down after like one of those blowaway fest sets. So that rules. Okay, let's go back to you, Chris, for your number 2.
All right, Dan, come over here. Get next to me. Don't be afraid. No broken orbital bones or anything like that. I'm going to take a praise track. I'm taking Chasing Colors off their new EP. This brings... The EP is awesome. It brings like all the familiar praise stuff, but a little bit like the melody and the melancholy that is like very praise, but like the kind of surprisingly bright guitars that make it a little bit not so melancholy, a little bit like the sun breaking through the clouds. And then like Andy's just always awesome introspective lyrics. This one seems to be about like learning when it's time to kind of let go and turn away from something or someone. Throughout the EP, Haley from Absinthe Father sings like backup vocals, and they actually give her a couple bars on this track, and that like her vocals just work so well with, you know, on top of Andy's, and then like with this music, and it sounds amazing. And but my favorite part of the song, shout out to Austin Stemper, the solo that comes out of Haley's guest parts is just so, I don't know, you know, it's awesome. Like, it's simple yet soulful. You know, there's no wanking. It's not like a, you know, string masher. Like, it's just really well placed soulful notes, and it just kind of catapults the song from like a great, you know, a really awesome song to like a amazing song. So, Chasing Colors by Praise.
Yeah, Austin, I don't think that solo is simple. I can't play it. So respect to you, dude. This is cool. They put out that LP in 2022, I think. So it's sick to follow it up with the EP, you know, like they're active band. I feel like I saw them on tour maybe last year. And yeah, good follow up on that LP. They do kind of like now they're kind of like more post-hardcore-y Revolution summary than anything, but it's pretty palatable to my ear, you know, so much respect to this band. Okay, let's go to you, Dan, for your number 2.
Okay. So my number 2, I'm going to go with my favorite song off of the High Vis LP. I'm going with Mind's a Lie. Now, this is a interesting approach to a song from a hardcore punk band, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love when people go further afield, and I love when people zero down into the essence of what is punk and hardcore. I am here for all of the experimentation as long as it sounds fucking good. And this sounds so fucking good. The vocals from their friend, I believe her name is Elle, are amazing. Like, they're just such a vibe. And I love the way, like, the electronic part, when the live drums come in and play along with it and just enhance it to such a level. I think it's incredible. The lyrics are excellent. Like, you know, talking about what is, you know, essentially, I'll say the line, what is truth when your mind's a lie? It's like, if you can't be honest with yourself, or if your mind is somewhat broken and you're not working on it, how can you do anything else in life, you know? Like, so it's a really, you know, introspective thing about, you know, talking about facing up to your own problems and dealing with it, and, you know, not, you know, breaking free of that. So I think that's brilliant. And I just think, you know, like, this taps into other music I've loved for a long time. You know, it's given you a little bit of, I don't know, for lack of a better term, 808 state. It's giving you some, you know, it's just giving you a little bit of club track mixed with hardcore. And the best thing about it is, this is a hardcore band doing this, and it is expansive and it is reaching for things, but Graham is delivering it in raw hardcore vocals that really just bring it back into, that's what it is. I really have loved this song for as long as I've been privy to it.
Yeah, that's the best part of the song, when like the live drums come in. That's like a really nice dynamic. Yeah, super sick. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, when the song came out, I didn't know what to think about it, because it didn't surprise me per se, but it still kind of is a shock, you know? So it came out, and the first listen, I'm like, I don't know if I like this. Let me listen to it again. And then after the second listen, I'm like, I don't know if I like this. Let me listen to it again. And then it gets to the point where you listen to something and you're not listening to figure out if you like it. You're listening because you can't stop listening to it because it's so good. And that's how I felt with this song, where like it really grew on me pretty quick, where the day that it came out, you know, I had a lot of discussions with my friends about, some loved it and some didn't like it at all. But by the end of the day, I was very much on the like, yeah, this song is good. And then when it really fits into the record, especially that going into Gone Forever afterwards, it's just kind of the perfect 1-2 punch to end the record. And I love it. The full record took a little while to grow on me too, but now it was one of my favorites of the year too. So they're a band that so far they haven't really missed, even if they're trying to go a little bit, experiment a little bit more, which is really hard to do. And yeah, they're just awesome.
Yeah, kind of like the Kriegshög. It's nice that this record has like a crescendo, like it goes out hard with like taking a risk and then like go into a song that kicks ass. So yeah, it's sick the way it ends. Okay, Kevin, let's go to you for number 2.
All right, so my number 2 is completely in the different direction. It just is a song that just absolutely rages the entire time. It is The Massacred Schizophrenic Insanity from the 7-inch that they put out this year. This record kind of took me by surprise. I know that they put out records before, and this song actually may have even been on a promo before, but I had never been privy to them. And it's exactly what I want from a hardcore band. It's fast, it rages, it just starts with kind of a bass and drum intro that is not slow. It just builds off of it and builds off of it and just explodes right into the verse. As soon as the verse starts, the vocals start right away. It's got a catchy chorus, which is just, repeating the words schizophrenic insanity over and over, but it's the perfect fist pumping, just raging song. It's kind of, it's got the full song structure in it. It has an intro. It's got a verse, a chorus. It's got a bass bridge like towards the end, but it has it all. And it's just, this is exactly the type of hardcore that I'm looking for these days, that it's not rare or anything, but like it's also, sometimes it feels like it's not there as much. So, but it's a band that I'm really into, and I want to like kind of spread the word on them because I think that they're so awesome. There's an LP that technically is out. Zach has it, and he asked if I wanted to get him to get me one, and I said no, which I messed up. But so that easily may be on my list next year because it's not out if nobody's heard it, right? So can't wait for that. But yeah, The Massacre, they're awesome.
Yeah. Their release schedule is confusing, right? Because like this 7-inch came out this year on Spotify. It says it's last year, and who fucking knows, right? But it came out this year. We heard it this year, and maybe that record's for next year. Who knows? But this song rips, dude. I mean, the whole 7-inch rules. The recording is so good. Like if you like hardcore in the straightforward lane, and you think something like this is like too punk, that's like a little disappointing, but maybe something like this could be like your bridge band because the recording is so bright and nice and you're not going to get scared off by something that sounds nasty. This recording is like perfect. Like the snare and the hi-hat sound so good. They drive this thing the whole way through, and then not taking anything away from the first song, but like that run of Schizophrenic Insanity, Brain Warfare, and Death March, like that might be the best 3-song run of the year. Like it is so good, dude. With Schizophrenic Insanity, super catchy chorus, Brain Warfare, the mid-tempo banger, then Death March again. It's like that one rivals Schizophrenic Insanity to me. But yeah, this is one of my favorite 7-inches of the year, like by far. I've jammed it a million times, and I would really encourage everyone to get it. It is frustrating. Actually, it is on streaming now. It's on Spotify. It's not on Bandcamp. This label's kind of all over the place with like where they put their stuff. But yeah, get the 7-inch, jam it on Spotify, and become a believer because the Massacre are the shit. And I did see them this year. They were great live too. And so there's that. Okay, I am going to take my number 2, and this is my favorite song of the year by far. I think I said on the award show, maybe my favorite song of the last 5 years. I'm taking the song Underground by the band Split System. It's my favorite tempo in punk. It's that up-tempo, mid-tempo, and like this song is like, it's so scenty and so aggressive at the same time. It's the best shit there is, right? Like when you have like this something that's beautiful, but there's also something ugly at the same time, right? Like you have this tempo that's so aggressive, but like yeah, it just, this shit gets me in the feels, right? And that chorus is so catchy. Underground, baby, yeah, underground, baby, yeah, underground, baby, yeah, underground. So good, dude. And that little lead to it's like a perfect song. And then like ending with like that little guitar break at the end and then going into that lead. And the way that like Aaron stays low on the entire lead is so sick, dude. It's got like such a vibe to it that it never goes high, never wanks, but it's like so sick, dude. This song bangs. This whole record bangs. You know, I think you're going to hear that a lot this episode, like this Death March EP that Kevin was talking about. I listened to it a million times. This Split System, I listened to it a lot of times. You know, we cover new music on the pod every month, and it's interesting because stuff comes across our plate. I generally choose or we choose together like a thing or two that we like a lot. We talk about it. But then it's strange because even if I liked it in that month, like there's a lot of things that I never go back to again, you know, but I do think that this was a pretty spectacular year in the way that there's a handful of things that I'm going to be a fan of for life. The Death March EP, one of them, the Collateral, one of them, this Split System is one of them. And yeah, super sick. Kevin, what do you think about this?
Yeah, this record, it just completely took me by surprise. Like, I liked the last one a little bit. I didn't listen too much, but I thought it was cool. And then this one came out. I remember it came out the same day as a lot of other things that I was more excited about. But I was like, okay, this record seems cool. Let me check it out. I'll listen to the other things first. And then it came on, and I was like, holy fuck, this record is awesome. And then I don't really remember what else came out, but this one I listened over and over and over. And, you know, like, through the ups of the year, through the downs of the year, this was a record that I just kept coming back to, especially in the first part of the year. And it's just unbelievable. And this was another one where I was just trying to, like, all my friends, anybody who might have an interest in this type of, you know, kind of garagey type of stuff, I was trying to tell them about it because it was just so good. Because every few years, a record like this hits me. Like 99% of them, I just think they're pretty good. And then there's one like this that just goes, and I just become obsessed with it. Underground is a great song. There's you could choose a million songs from this record. So yeah, this and Kriegshög were definitely my favorite records of the year. LPs. I absolutely agree with you, Zach. Like this year, you know, there's a lot of good stuff, and it was hard to debate about whether it was a great year or whatever. But that's what I've been saying too, is just there's a few records that I know that for the rest of my life I'm going to love and just listen to all the time. And this is absolutely one of those.
I love it. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, it's so nice that this song closes out the LP too. It is a quintessential, like, leaves you in a mood to where you're like, you know what, I'm going to put it back on. Like this, and so the songs I had on like a short list would be this one and the song Dave. I really love that song.
Yeah, that was my number two.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd have Alone Again if we didn't, like, call it a 2023 song because they put it out as a single in 2023. Because that song is an all-timer for life, you know? That's one, like, just to have forever. I mean, all of these are all good, but they are a little bit dwarfed by how good Alone Again is. There's something about this kind of music that if there's I don't know how to say it, like a dirty factor or a sleaze factor without it being like overly wanky. Like there's just that perfect pocket where it's like, yeah, this is, you know, we've seen some shit and this is the kind of music we play, but it's also catchy as fuck. There's just, it's hard to like describe what exactly I mean by that, but you know what I mean. And Split System do it better than anyone.
I mean, that's that whole Aussie sound, right? When your roots are the Saints and Rose Tattoo. I mean, what can you do? You know, both those bands are writing beautiful songs that like all have a pretty hard edge. So yeah, Alone Again got kind of boned, right? Because last year we were like, all our lists were pretty full. So it's like, it's going to come out on the LP next year. I'll just take it then. You know what I mean? And then
we should have all been fighting for it for number one.
Yeah, I know. Because like we loved it then and we love it now, and it's just kind of getting boned. So what are you gonna do? I mean, the thing is, like, I really do like Underground the most, just because of the tempo. I think that like it's spectacular when bands like write songs in that tempo, especially ones that like convey such emotion. So, yep. Okay, let's go back to you, Chris, for number 3.
All right, I'm taking it to Denmark. I'm going all the way back to January, 11 months ago. Night Fever. I'm taking the song Numb the Pain.
Yeah.
This song is this song's like Skid Row on speed. I mean, musically, like the guitars and drums, it's just ripping hardcore. But like the vocals make it, they bring that Camaro rock attitude that like
Yes.
I don't know, this dude just nails it. And we talk so much about the vocals, like the vocalist, when we talk about this band because like he goes for it like 100% of the time. It's always up to 10. Sometimes he pushes it up to 11. But like everyone in this band like totally rips, it's like Poison Idea, like who's the best musician in the band? Like everyone in the band rips, the vocalist rips, the guitars, the drums, like everything. And I don't know, like I actually hear a lot of Poison Idea in this band. Like maybe if Poison Idea was from Oxnard. But yeah, I think I love the vocals on this track because it's like Zoli in full peacock mode,
Yeah.
It's just like letting it all hang. Yeah, this is my favorite LP of the year. Like you guys were saying, like stuff that you keep going back to. This came out in January, and by now I've kind of moved on from a lot of stuff that I really like, but this is in regular rotation, and every time I listen to it, like this is the song that I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, and this with like Lone Wolf right behind it too. It's like kind of the 1-2 punch of the record, This song is so good. His vocal performance is amazing. And you're right. It sounds like it's, this is my idiot way to compare it, but it kind of sounds like Poison Idea mashed up with RKL with like Zoli singing over the top of it. So it's so good. It's like it can never be accused of trying to be something else. Like this is Night Fever. You know what I mean? So it's super sick. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah.
This record, so I listened to it because you guys talked about it, and there's not that much that appeals to my current sensibilities, like what I'm looking for in a punk or hardcore record. I don't really care too much about like melody and singing vocals and stuff these days. When I listen to this, the record is just so crazy that I just kept coming. Like at first I'm like, this sucks. And then I listened to it again and I was like, this is pretty crazy. And then I just kept listening to it again and I was like, okay, I think I like this. And I did the same thing. I sent it to one of my specific friends and I said, you are either going to hate this or love this. And he responded, he's like, fuck you for sending me this. And then a day later, he was like, fuck you for sending me this. I like it. And I was like, I know. So like there's, I hear the Poison Idea parts. I hear some Japanese hardcore guitar parts in there. And then the vocals are like solely on speed. So this is not something that I listen to like all the time. But when it comes back, it's like, at least the first half, but probably I'm underestimating it a little bit. Like it's one of those things where I recognize every song and I always forget some of them. And it's like some of the best songs on the records are the ones that I forget because they're like, song 5, 6 or 7 or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, this song is good too. So it's like I said, it's not in the everyday rotation, but when I listen to it, I'm like, this record's pretty cool. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. There is a lot of burning spirits in this, and it's just a wild record. It's one of those things where it's like, I can't believe they went there, and they did, and they somehow pulled it off. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they're like the Candiria of roots hardcore or some shit. Like, what the fuck is going on, and why does it work, and why do I like it? You know what I mean? So pretty sick.
I love Kevin talking, like walking us through his journey, because that was like my exact experience too. It was
Same.
I put it on like that when that first single dropped. I was like, man, this is something. And then I was like, I kind of want to listen to it again. And then when I did, I was like, I don't know if I like this or I hate it. And then like the third time, I was like, I think I like this. I might love it.
The first single was the wildest shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is on here. So, but yeah, it's like, I think this band is best like in LP form, because it's like, oh, they're fucking serious. You know what I mean? Like I can kind of compare it to when Sheer Terror does Boys Don't Cry, like right when it comes in, you're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? And it sounds like a joke. But then by the second verse, you're like, God damn, they're serious. And then it's like, damn, they're serious, and this is fucking great, dude. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's how I feel about Night Fever. Okay.
Yeah, I love that comp.
Yeah. Let's go to you, Dan, for number 3.
Okay, for number 3, I'm going to select what I think is the mid-tempo banger of the year. You know, this should have been in the Dance Ant Invitational. I am going with Lost Legion, The Animals We Used to Be. This song is incredible. It has this beautiful lead that like is melodic and it's like the tempo's perfect on this song. The lead is so catchy, and then you can tell. Well, actually, I'm reaching out on a limb here. I think the person that sings also wrote the music, because the way that the vocal melody is over this is literally like, I think someone must have been strumming around and like come up with, because you know when like a band records something and then they give it to the singer to like work out lyrics or whatever. This is just the vocal melody and the flow over this music is just so inventive and perfect and catchy, and all one note to an extent. Well, not one note, but one style of delivery, and it's just brilliant. And the lyrics are so cool and poetic and amazing and really evocative of like it just, I don't know, about like old times being like running the streets kind of thing, but it's done in such a like it's full on poetry. It's amazing. Lost Legion is a band that I really want to see. I've never seen them, and I really want to see them. And I loved the LP, but this standout for me. This song is just a million chef's kisses.
This song is great. We talked it on the pod. Probably the best song on the album, but they have some real high points on here. This is that dark oi shit spreading across the globe. You know what I mean? Like we talk about Freud and how much we love it, and it's really a global thing now. Like this dark oi, like street music, but tapping into like that, I don't know, senti dark shit. It's great. They do it great. But Dan, you calling me out that this should have been like on the mid-tempo banger of the year list. I remember, I think you suggested this. You sent me a couple things, and you know, this is your category. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is the first one you sent me, and they can't qualify. All their songs are mid-tempo. Right. So like to be a mid-tempo banger, you got to be a fast band that plays a mid-tempo banger. That's the whole point. And then
yeah, but that's when you click the LP to 45, a few songs, and then you click this one back to 33, and you're like, oh yeah, this mid-tempo rules.
Yeah. Okay. So we got this one. You sent me like an egregious song.
Oh my God, you're going to list all of these ones that I've had fast parts on?
Because I think you just sent me 2, because they're like, it's my category and I should be able to say what songs are in it. The second one you sent me for the mid-tempo banger list had a fucking fast part in it, dude. What are you doing here? What are you doing?
That's why I told you, you've got to appreciate the fast to appreciate the mid-tempo all in one song.
I'm just saying, you and Kevin are like singers only. You got to deflect to us musicians over here. What's going on, Chris? Like, what is going on? But yeah, this is a great pick. I'm so glad it's on this list because, yeah, this band rips. And they just put out a new EP, I believe, like last month, which is really good too. So, yeah, that song Gone, I think we put it in the best senti category, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, let's go on to Kevin for his number 3.
All right, so my number 3, I think that 2024 was really the year of Haywire. Their first show was in December of last year, and they have absolutely taken the world by storm. So I'm going to pick Like a Train from their LP that came out, I think the first week of the year. Like I said, they were barely a band by the end of last year, and now they are getting the biggest reactions on every show that they're on. They're kind of a universal band where everybody likes them. You know, people who like heavy stuff, people who like fast stuff. You see older people, younger kids, like people you wouldn't expect to even still listen to new hardcore songs, know all the words to Haywire, but all the younger kids do too. It's just great. And I think that this song there's a few real standout Haywire songs this year, some slower songs and some others. And like, This one is, I think, the standout. It's got a real good mosh to start, good side-to-side part, and then it just comes back and is just stomping the whole time. It does have a guest vocals part, but I think that it's a good one. And I think that this song is just, I feel like Haywire just has to be mentioned this year, just because they've exploded so much. And I think that this is the highlight track.
It's wild. I didn't realize they've only been around since December of last year. Like,
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
feel
FYA
like,
was their second show.
holy cow. Yeah, they feel like they've been around for a couple years. Yeah, this was maybe their year. You know what I mean? Like, you look at all the videos of them playing, it looks insane. Their set in San Diego was great. This is like the hit. I put Feeling Depressed on the short list for Song of the Year. It's probably my favorite song of theirs, but yeah, this Like a Train is undeniable. You hear it once, super catchy. You're going to remember it. We talked to that song Price to Pay by the band Force last month on the pod, or earlier this month. And it's like, it's kind of like that. You listen to it and it's like, God damn, if they play a lot of shows, this is like an instant classic. You know what I mean? So killer ass song, dude, and great pick, and sick to have them on the list.
It's both hard and catchy at the same time. And to go with what Kevin was saying at the start of this, is like they just played with Terror in SF in, I swear to God, like the worst venue for like to do a hardcore show, stage high as fuck. And you know what? This singer just was like, I am going to make you all pay attention and love us by the end of it, just putting the crowd in his hand, like, because I'm telling you, it was like the worst crowd. And Vogel, like, was even having difficulties getting people to come up front. It was just ridiculous. But Haywire won everyone over. It was really, really excellent, And I'd have to say, Kevin, don't be afraid of a guest vocal. Just because our fearless dictator leader hates guest vocals, you can enjoy a guest vocal.
Hey, I enjoy this one. I just had to have the caveat there so Zach doesn't just kick me off the pod if I don't mention it.
Yeah, and you're saving me for myself, right? Full disclosure, how's this for irony? Dan did a guest vocal spot on one of my records, so I'm just a giant hypocrite over here, dude. What are we doing? Although that was 23 years ago, so
we were pretty OG.
I didn't get into hardcore till 96. I can never be OG. I'm always a new jack, dude. It's very weird feeling old now. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to take my number 3. I'm going to take the song Chicago by the band Canal Irreal. We talked about this one on the pod, I believe, when me and Chris did a podcast. This is Martin Crudo on vocals, and god damn, this song is so good. This whole record rips. It's like mid-tempo punk, some dark vibes going on. There's some songs that'll get you in the feels, dude. Like that song I Failed. But this one is just like, I don't know. I can't get enough of it. I've had it on a bunch of my playlists this year, and it's just kind of an undeniable standalone on an island track. It's so wild. Like I don't know what to compare it to. So I'll try to describe it. But get in those archives and check out when we talked Canal Irreal, because I had better notes and I went into it more. But like, basically, Martin's talking about he's like at a bar or something, and some dude talks to him like, "Hey, you from Chicago?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then like the dude starts like hitting him up with all this trivia on his city, right? And like trying to make him feel like a foo. And like the chorus, it's like, well, the verse is just like all this shit, him being punished by this dude. And then the chorus is just so simple and so punk. And it's just like some of the best punk music is when you strip back all the layers and just go to that basic shit of like when you first discovered the music, you were 13 years old, you were angry as fuck. And like he just yells, "I don't care." You know what I mean? Over and over. It's so good. The second verse is him like talking about what he loves. And then the third verse is him saying like all the kind of like the gnarly shit, right? Like, oh, I know where to walk at what time so I don't get fucked up. I know what to say when someone hits me up about like, where you from, all the shit. And like, I don't know. It's just, what a fucking song, dude. I can't compare anything to it. It's that special. And yeah, it's like one of the best punk songs of the year, like by far, in my opinion. And I think I did a pretty poor job of explaining it this time around. So get in those archives and check out when I explained it better. But this song rules. Dan, what do you got on this?
So I had Withdrawal and I Failed, both on my short list. But I'm really glad that they're on here. It's such an interesting choice that you're taking this song in particular, because it is so creative and it is such a way of showing people, like easily showing someone, this is my feelings on something in such a beautiful artistic way. I mean, the the talking over the music, like at the beginning, gives almost like a little bit of like institutionalized, and also meets like punk rock girl to an extent. It's like actual speak, and it's like this Punisher is just talking your ear off, and the I don't care is perfect. And the best thing about the Canal Real stuff is just the leads. They're not like doing anything really expansive, but they're so catchy and they drive the song forward. They're just so great. They're not like solos or anything. They're just these leads, these little hooky guitar riffs that just drive all of these songs on this LP forward. I mean, it is if you've, like Zach said, if you've not got into this band, like check this record out. It's brilliant.
Well, the leads are great also because they're a 4-piece. And I don't think they're doing a second guitar track on the record. So
Yeah.
he's like doing these leads, like, and he has to make them meaty, right? Because it's like just the bass and the guitar. So it's super sick. Yeah. And I mean, Martine's just got like one of the greatest punk voices ever too. So like if it was me yelling, I don't care on the chorus, it wouldn't be as great. Like this is a perfect example. Don't get a guest vocalist. Don't have Zach come in and sing your chorus here. It's got to be Martine singing it. You know what I mean? Because like he's got that voice. And then also like, Dan, that's actually a really good comparison. Like it is a little bit of like institutionalized. It is a little bit of punk rock girl, I guess, if like we're making the most broad comparisons, but also like it's almost like it's fucking 1993 slam poetry night. You know what I mean? Like this thing is like a gnarly ass, like kind of like avant-garde poem. And I love like the way it ends, like, and then this other dude comes up to me and asks me where I'm from. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's such a funny way to end it. Like, I don't know. The way he writes is just so visceral. Like he's one of the greatest punk singers of all time, straight up. So, you know what I mean? Much respect to Martine. And yeah, let's go back to you, Chris, for your number 4.
All right, I'm taking the red eye back from Denmark, back to the U.S., but we're not going coastal elites here. We're going right to the middle of the country. We're going to St. Louis. I'm gonna take a track from the band Man with Rope. There's 2 songs on this EP that like are like neck and neck, and I was going back and forth. Finally netted on one. Wrote all my notes or whatever. Went and walked my dog like an hour ago, and listened to the other track and was like, kind of changed my mind again. But I'm going back. I'm going to stick with what I had. I'm going Death Narrative. The other track in question is Repulsor, which is just like a slow stomper, like an apocalyptic tragedy style banger. And this band actually draws a lot of influence from tragedy. But this song, Death Narrative, there's a little bit more to talk about, I guess, because there's just some different tempos, whereas like Repulsor's just like Confessions of a Suicide Advocate, just like slow and doomy all the way through. But so this song starts out with a short intro that's like just a few bars, and it's kind of mid-tempo-y, like almost like some Youth Crew-y toms. And if you listen to this pod, you know that we love Youth Crew toms and non-Youth Crew places. That's Here's a good example of that. And then it busts into blazing fast, just like ripping beat, verse, chorus like stays just as ripping, but adds like a little bit of that dark melody that tragedies. So, that you'll really hear some tragedy in there. Back to the verse, back to the chorus, and the breakdown kind of returns to this, like that intro tempo. Maybe I can't tell if it's a little bit less Youth Crew-y, but like that tempo. And, I think what makes this song like super special is just like this part is super melodic, but like, if you listen to tragedy, like dark, gloomy, apocalyptic, bleak. And then I think what really makes this band special is the singer's vocals. Like they're just like, she's just like screaming bloody murder, and they're really crisp and cut through kind of like this just bleak. I don't know, the bleak, just dark vibes, and it's such like a cool juxtaposition. So yeah, the song is Man with Rope, or sorry, the song is called Death Narrative from the band Man with Rope from St. Louis.
Yeah, if people like tragedy and they want another band to listen to that sounds in that vein, I mean, they it sounds like they do this style pretty well. For me personally, like we say on the pod, I'm a poser of many genres, and stadium crust and melodic crust is definitely like one of them. I got room for one band in my arsenal, and that's the first two tragedy records. Beyond that, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just like when it comes to like the D beat and the raw punk, I want it to be as gnarly as possible with like zero melody. So, but yeah, it sounds like they do this style really well. So like the aficionados of this style should definitely check them out. Dan, what is your number 4?
Okay, it got a little slight mention earlier. Now, this is one that's come out near the end of the year, and it stayed with me ever since we talked it on the pod. I've just listened to it over and over again. So Chris just dropped down in Portland, gassed up the 185 private jet for me, and I'm taking that all the way to Belgium. And I am going Price to Pay by Force. And yes, it's got another guest vocal spot. It's got a guest vocal spot that we talked on the pod a few episodes back. So get in those archives. Todd from Nails sings the end part, but I mean, the vocalist of Force is just killing it, and it's such a stomper. It's stomping so hard, and then it has a fast middle part, and then it goes back to the stomp, but gets raw, even more raw, and then Todd Jones' vocals close it out, repeating the refrain from earlier. And it is just such a stomping, like knuckle dragging, amazing, like roots hardcore. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna say it again: stomp. It is a stompy stomper. I fucking love it.
Yeah, everyone give those archives. Episode 246. We talked the hell out of this band and this song. Good choice, Dan. And let's go to Kevin for his number 4.
So I was trying to think of what to pick, and I'm probably going to have to end up not picking and talk about stuff that I want to pick that I love this year, because it would be very disingenuous to not pick a Scarab song. So I'm going to pick Sick Joke.
Yeah.
This song, as soon as it was sent to me, I just started laughing because once again, they, like we already said, they're just batting 1,000. When I first heard it, I'm like, okay, it starts with a kind of slow part, just kind of what they normally do. But then as it goes on, it just kind of, the heavy part is a different type of heavy than they had done before. It's kind of just more pummeling in your face. It's not necessarily a breakdown per se. It's just like just beating you in the head with the same guitar riff over and over, It's only a minute or so long, and it's just perfect. It's just another great Scarab song in the discography. So, I don't have that much extra to say about it after we already talked about Tetanus, but it's a band that they absolutely need to be in my Super 7 of the year. They're my the best band in hardcore, the best band from around. I just love them. So they're the best.
Yeah, the way this starts with like the like big head bob part is so nice. Like, this is a great song and super short. I mean, I think that if we're going to talk Scarab again, we got to talk about their like command of brevity. It's what makes the band so special. Like, obviously they're writing great songs. Every element of the band is good, but like if their songs were 3 minutes long, it would lose a lot of like the spirit of the song, right? It's the fact that like they get in and out and they leave you with these memorable songs in such short blasts of energy. So yeah.
And that's what makes them so good live too, is that like you don't really settle in when they're playing live. It's just go, go, go the entire set. There's no breaks. There's no songs where people just kind of sit there. It's just beating you in the head with over and over and over. And even though they have more songs now, they still don't stretch out their sets too long. It's still like 15 minutes. And that's what really makes it hit home. That's why it hit so hard.
Hell yeah. Okay, what do you think, Dan?
Yeah, what makes them so special is, I mean, you talked about like how it's shortened, but that part that it like hits you right out the gate with that wall and noise, and then it's doing that like head bobs like stomp part, and then it's like it's the roller coaster, like that was the clicking up to the top, and then there's this tiny moment of like before it goes fast where it's like a negative space of like, and then it just goes. And the drumming, I mean, every single member of Scarab is just killing it, but the drumming on all Scarab tracks just holds this together like so brilliantly. The drumming is just incredible, and it's a shame that this song, well, I mean, in the digital era, does it really matter? I suppose you just find it on their Spotify, but it's like, God, does this just stay on a comp? It's such a good song.
I mean, I think that it's good on the comp because, the One Scene Unity comps, they're interesting every year, but I think that this year is actually the best one. And like those first 4 songs together is like, it's the best 4-song run of like the One Scene Unity comps. So it's pretty sick. And yeah, we're in the digital era. Like, just put it on a playlist, dude. So, but yeah, again, Scarab 3 for 3 this year and an LP next year, dude. A lot of pressure, kind of, right? Like, what if the LP is mid, dude? What's gonna happen, Dan?
It can't be.
It can't be, huh? It can't be.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. That was, oh shit, it's me again. God
Yep.
damn it. Okay, I am going to take the song Full of Shit by Thought Control. The Problems EP, the Massacred EP, and this were probably the 3 7-inches I listened to the most this year, and that In La Muerte 7-inch. I jammed these 4 so much, and this one is great. Like, all the bands, like, they do a good job of doing short, memorable songs, straightforward, roots hardcore, and like having blazers, right? Like, we're kind of getting back to like the old style of hardcore where there doesn't have to be a tempo change in every song, right? So like, this is like a 1 minute long blazer, and it just starts with like a line that's so classic, and it taps into that stuff I was talking about earlier. Like, I want to tap back into how you felt when you're 14 and you were just like upset, but you didn't even know why sometimes, right? And like, this song just kicks off with, oh, you're da 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 full of shit, da 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 full of shit. It's so sick, dude. It's like the song you wanted to write when you were 14, but you didn't have the skills to write, you know what I mean? But now we can just enjoy it. You know what I mean? And there is a second hook in the song too. Da 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 da, whatever the fuck. But there's no lyric sheet in the 7-inch, so I have no idea what they're saying. And whoever did that, what the fuck, bro? You buy a 7-inch in 2024, you're spending like 15, 16 bucks for it to get to you, and there's no lyric sheet, dude. Like, seriously, what the fuck is going on here? I almost want to not pick this on principle, and I almost want to snap the 7-inch over my knee, just like out of frustration. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? It's like, you're okay, dude. Like, lyrics, no matter who you are, it's a big part of hardcore. And I get it if you're lazy and you don't want to put them on Bandcamp, but like, you buy the record, it should have a fucking lyric sheet. What the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? And so I will say, hey, whoever made that decision, you're full of shit. Play the song. It's about you. You know what I mean? But I do love this song, and I love a lot of the songs on this record, especially also that mid-tempo banger, Sick and Tired of the Talking Heads. God damn, that song is so good. But this thing bangs the whole way through. And yep. Chris, what do you think on this?
Yeah, I like this a lot too. Like, I'll have to go back and listen to them back to back, just to make sure I'm not crazy. But like, when I listened to this, I thought it reminded me a lot of like Fit for Abuse, just kind of like, I don't know, like the bright guitars and like the fast riffs, but like just kind of full on caveman boot, but done really, I don't know, really well and bright, and yeah, it rips.
Yeah, and also a big improvement. Like, this band did a 7-inch before. They might have done 2 7-inches before, but the one before this, they fell into like that shitty trope of like burying the vocals like in the mix and with distortion. And this time came out of it. It's still a little muffly boy, you know, a little shy muffly boy shit going on here, but like it's a lot more clear than it was before. So like we gotta like give a thumbs up for the improvement, right? Of like not being so shy this time around, because these vocals are great, dude. So like let your flag fly, dude. You got a dope ass voice, like put it prominent in the mix. You know what I mean? What's going on? Okay. We are now in the speed rounds. So Chris, go ahead and give us your number 5 with a couple sentences on why you chose it, and then we will move on.
All right, I'm going Constant Change by the band Utility. Just Youth Crew Blazer, 30 seconds, like everything you want in a Youth Crew song. I love it.
Good pick. Dan, what do you got?
Well, since this is the speed round, I'm going Speed, the first test. I mean, this is catchy as fuck. Flute part took over the world online. This song absolutely rips.
Kevin, number 5.
Dan went Speed. I'm going to do the Dan Sand special and go Speed Plans with Shut Up into Shut the Fuck Up. No explanation needed.
No, my number 5 is I'm going to take Tarina with the song No Control. Dude, it's a minute 20. Fast verse, catchy chorus, fast verse, catchy chorus, hard ass breakdown. You're fucking slamming, dude. Let's go. Okay, Chris, round 6.
I'm going to finally go to my favorite musical output of the year off of the No Idols demo. I'm just going to take the opening track because every track on this is a hit. I'm taking Buzz Killer.
All right, Dan, number 6.
All right, well, I am rolling on Chris's coattails here. I'm going with No Idols also, and I'm going with Play Yourself, the mid-tempo banger that was in the Dansan Invitational. This song fucking smashes.
Yep, and a proper mid-tempo banger. What's up? Kevin, number 6.
I'm going to go Mob 47, Mass Psychos. Just absolute raging hardcore from people that could be your dad. It's fucking awesome.
Dude, it had to be picked. It had to be on this list. Much respect. You're a better man than me. Okay, I'm taking Public Acid Slow Bleed. It's my favorite record of the year. I've listened to it more than anything other than maybe Split System. And when you don't know what song to pick that first song because it gives you the vibe of dropping the needle and enjoying the whole record. So, yep. Okay, we are on to the heartbreak round. Chris, what's your final pick?
All right, I'm going back to France. I'm going to Brest, the Kings of Froy. But this is them doing their Youth Crew project, Fine Equip. The song, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It's the first song off of the EP. So these guys are just, everything they do is gold. Like, you know, no matter what style of like punk or hardcore they do, it's all awesome. And here they are like playing my favorite kind of style of hardcore, and I just love it. It's Youth Crew, but it's not like straight 90s Youth Crew. Like they definitely bring in a lot of that Syndrome 81 kind of melancholy and melody. It's to me it feels like post In My Eyes Youth Crew, like somewhere in that 2000 to 2005 lane. And it's awesome.
It's really good. I don't think I ever heard this before. Maybe you forgot to share it with us, Chris, because it would have gotten. Go ahead.
Well, this one was kind of weird because like these gentlemen love to put stuff up on Bandcamp and then not put it up on Spotify for a while, and then so this one was on Bandcamp for a while, and I think I shared it back then, and then they just like recently put it up on Spotify, I think. So they're trying to lay low, play incognito.
Yeah, I mean the recording's great. The song sounds great from the 30 seconds that I listened to it, and yeah, and the art is sick too. Anything busting through a brick wall is a fucking winner, dude. You know?
Amen.
Yeah. What do you think, Dan?
I fucking love this. Chris shared this like right when he got it. I think it may have been before it even went on Bandcamp. And yeah, loved it. I mean, like he said, there's nothing that this collective can't do right. Everything, you know, Syndrome 81, all-time band. This Fine Equip, Equipe, is just unbelievable. I'm going to take a stab at pronouncing the song. It's Plus Jamais Seul. It rips. And like Chris says, there's a little bit of just underlying melancholia. The thing that he said something interesting, like he thinks this is Post in My Eyes. I think there's a pocket of this that's Post in My Eyes. I think there's a little pocket of it that is just Post Uniform Choice. It's like two different eras, like smashing together, but after two other eras. I don't know. It's super good. And Brest is doing amazing in the Champions League. So, allez le Brest.
It sounds like MIs, dude. I think that's exactly what it is. It's just it's hard. Like, so when newer youth crew bands come out, it's impossible to compare them to the old shit because they'll never have the 80s recording. So it always has to get compared to like 90s and beyond, right? So then like you're just deciding like, oh, what is it compared to the most? 10-yard fight, floor punch, MIs, sportswear, like where you landed. And this is more in my eyes than anything. I think it sounds really good, dude. I can't wait to listen to this. And again, yeah, like these dudes, they just don't miss, dude. You know, it's like the Scarab Boys, right? Like anything those dudes do, it's like really proficient and good. And like these dudes is kind of like the same thing. So super sick. Okay, Dan, heartbreak round. What are you taking as your 7th pick?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way to line step and put 26 songs onto this. But I'm gonna keep that youth crew train rolling. The great thing about 2024 is this is a year where it seems like not like on a trend basis thing, just in certain pockets throughout the year, these youth crew appreciation or even people who play in very different style bands have come like, I want to sound like fucking something on Crucial Response, or I want to sound like, In My Eyes, or this. And these things have bubbled up. And this, the great style of like Youth Crew and Youth Crew Toms is now being heard like in every pocket of the universe right now. And it's, I'm here for it. So 2025, I think it's going to be amazing. And then we're going to get that third, the third Where Fear and Weapons song is going to drop, and then it's going to kill it all. So they're going to find it in the archives somewhere in Florida, like found by the tornado upturning this reel, and that someone's going to put it out, and then boom, it's over. But I got to say, here's one, Chris said it's the year of the demo. I just said it's the year of Youth Crew coming back. Well, let's put those two things together. Something to Hide by Hindsight. Hindsight, straight edge. This thing absolutely rips. The vocals are so gruff and hard over this kind of music, and it just flows so good. The riffs are amazing, and, I'm really here to hear more straight edge hardcore that is right down the dancing lane and just giving me the ability to reach for the Sharpie, reach for the, Marks a Lot. Shout out, I want to be Billy Balance over here and give two different brands a shout out. And put those X's on my hand and just do a bedroom mosh because, I'm not trying to punch my best friend in the face. So, I'm definitely trying to do two fingers pointing and just wear a Letterman jacket and just be fucking psyched to be straight edge, and Hindsight give me those vibes.
This demo is so good, dude. It's only 3 songs, so like there's not a lot to sink your teeth into, but god damn, it's like what a demo should be, right? Like you hear a few songs and you're like, I cannot wait to hear what this band does next. All 3 are great. This song particularly, it has like the harmonic part, which is like of modern youth, not modern, I guess, like 90s on, like it's kind of a staple, like to have that part where you hit like the fucking harmonics, and they do it great. Like, and again, naturally kind of burly voice, which is nice. In this music is like, the further we get away from the original shit, I think that sometimes youth crew bands forget that like it's supposed to be mean and angry music. Like the further we get away from the source material, we're like, oh no, it's just supposed to be like clean cut, like pausey shit. And it's like, You know, like let's not have it all be like corny. Let's like tap into the anger, dude. Like, you know, we got to go back to Can't Close My Eyes, bro. You know what I mean? Like start from the beginning. You know what I mean? And I don't know. This is awesome. So what do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I love this demo. These are real good friends of mine, so I was really excited for them to get together and do a band. They've been talking about it for a long time, and they actually did it. And I was played the songs in a Texas Roadhouse parking lot over a cell phone, and I said, "Well, that is fucking awesome." And then I've listened to a lot more since, and it still is great. I love how brief it is. It's just 3 songs. I mean, sometimes demos are only 3 songs, and if every song is good and if it's 4 minutes long, that's kind of perfect, especially like what a demo should be. You know, it shouldn't be too bloated. So it's great. And the thing with them is that I think that they kind of wrote this when they were barely a band. So now they have a full lineup, and they should be able to, I think the next stuff is even going to be better, which is great.
So sick. Christy, do you want to speak on this or not?
No, I do agree. Like everything you guys said about just, I don't know. Especially like the further you get away from the source material, like things getting clean. And I love like there's bands like Hindsight and like Utility that are coming back. They're bringing a lot of that like raw youth crew aggression that like needs to be there. And super psyched to hear them like, now that they have their lineup, kind of get in the lab and really bring it with what they do next.
All right, Kevin, let's go to you for your number 7.
So it is a bit heartbreaking not to have a Split System song on my list because that was one of my favorite records of the year. But I feel like it would be dishonest if we did not represent the 185 Miles South record of the year. So I'm going to have Invertebrates with Bated Breath. This record is awesome. One of the things we talked about is like listening to something and think it was pretty good, and then listening to it more and more. I listened to this record, and I'm like, okay, this is good. It's good quality, like No Way Records type of, it sounds like a hardcore band from Richmond, like, Direct Control and Government Warning and that type of stuff. But at first I'm like, yeah, this is good. It's kind of like per the course. And then I found myself all year long, if I just was driving in the car, or if I just had 15 minutes that I was just had some downtime or whatever, this was the record that I was just using to fill that space. And more it just grew on me, and it was easily one of my favorites of the year. And a lot of the songs, I mean, to be honest, a lot of songs kind of run together. They're all good, but they're all kind of the same. But Bated Breath is a little bit like, it starts with kind of angler, janky guitars, but not a bad way, in a cool way. And it's got a kind of a spoken word middle interlude type of thing, again, not in a bad way, in a cool way. And it just kind of stands out. It's a little bit of a break from the rest of the record, but it's not slow. It doesn't stop. It's just great. So this band is awesome. I saw them a few weeks ago, and they opened a pretty big show, and it wasn't like there were that many people that were like into them specifically, but they just fucking ripped, and they just blazed through the entire record. The singer was a madman, just looked absolutely deranged, and he sang every single word, didn't miss any of them. And they were exactly what I was hoping they would be live. So I can't wait to see them again. I love them. Hopefully there's another record at some point, because it's an LP, but it's only like 13 minutes long. So I just want to hear more.
This is a great pick because it has one of those parts that I think they do better than anyone right now when they tap into like kind of like a dark lead. They got interviewed on the award show pod, and they said they were like going for Dead Kennedys, which is awesome. It's like, I don't know why I'm always going to like, oh, it's like TSOL or like Christian Death, and I'm going like to like that dark spooky shit. It's like they could just be going to the surf shit. You know what I mean? And this has like one of those pieces on it, right? Like, which is such a nice way. It's such a nice way to cut up like a straightforward roots hardcore song. Like they do such a good job with that shit. This record rules. It totally deserved to get LP of the year. And yeah, I mean, this is one of the best songs off it, no doubt. Dan, what do you got on this?
Yeah, it won LP of the year. The only thing that for me that I can't pick a standout song, because like Kevin said, the whole thing's done in like 12 plus minutes. Like it just flows like as a LP, like brilliantly. And it is so fast, but I live in the land of the mid tempo.
Yep. Okay, heartbreak round. This is heartbreaking. I have two that I came down to. I thought that one of my picks might get jacked, so that's harsh. I'm narrowing it down to Nails lacking the ability to process empathy, which was my favorite song off their record this year, and maybe my favorite Nails song, period. And then that band In La Muerte with their song Bleed. And I think Jones would understand. I'm going to go In La Muerte, and here's the reason why. I don't know how old these people are, but they're in their 20s, maybe 25-ish, maybe 21-ish, maybe 18-ish. I don't fucking know. But this record is like what I wish all young bands would sound like. You know what I mean? It's so simple and so creative at the same time, right? So this song, it starts with kind of like a little one note guitar lead over just bass going, so it's got that kind of creepy vibe. And then there's talking, and then it just blasts fast, and then it ends. You know what I mean? And all the songs on this record are they're not like that, but they're that way in that there's a creative piece to it. There's a catchy piece to it. And then it's just a blast of energy and it's out. And it's I don't know. It just feels like all young bands now, they're either this is fucking dusty for me to go on this tangent, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's the heartbreak round. I got to be true to myself. Right. I feel like most young bands are either chasing a sound, which comes off sometimes insincere, or they're just playing shitty beatdown. You know what I mean? And I get it. Cause it sucks to say, but beatdown is kind of the simple punk, because all you have to do is go dun, 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 dun. Everyone can do it. Right. Just like everyone can go da, 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 da. Right. It's just, they chose the shitty version instead of the sick version. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's just such a spirit to the 7-inch. It sounds like 1983 SoCal, but I can't put my finger on it to, it's they're not stealing from any band. It just seems so genuine. There is a little Suicidal Tendencies, demo era or first record on here. There's maybe a little, Circle One on here. And there's maybe even a little Ill Repute. This song has a little bit of Sleepwalking vibes. And I just love it. I wish more people would check it out. And I wish more bands would do early 80s punk as when they're young. It's sick shit, dude. And I want everyone to hear it. So that's that. Dan, what do you think?
So yeah, the beginning of this song is so creative. It's so just a vibe. You said those early 80s influences. I think that's when it kicks fast. I think the beginning of this song almost has Ebullition era, it's got this, you're speaking, you're saying something, and you're just letting the people in the room know over this angular guitar going and then the drums are building, and then it just kicks fast and transmits you straight to, like you said, Southern California in the 80s. It is it's really great, and I'm glad it's on the list. This is the best song on the EP as well.
Yeah, and I did see him this year, and they played a show with mostly mosh bands at the Shea Cafe. There was probably 70 people there, but they were so good, they got a small early crowd on the night circle pitting and going crazy. So they were able to win over a crowd that wasn't there to hear this kind of music. So much respect to En La Muerte. And the bass player drew the cover for the 185 Miles South of Somewhere fanzine and compilation.
Oh, sick.
So what's up? But this was not a homer pick. This was picked on merit alone. What's going on?
Did you get in that circle pit?
No, I am in heavy pit retirement. We have Chris and Kevin as our pit correspondents still. You know what I mean?
Not to be confused with heavy pitting.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to honorable mentions. Let's see here. I have a shit ton, and let me get into it. Hey, I'm not blowing myself up, dude. Nails lacking the ability to process empathy. Of course, one of the greatest songs of the year. Burning Lord, WCB, one of the best albums of the year, and goddamn, it's heartbreaking they didn't get on here. Problems, Beg for Release, really anything off that 7-inch. Invertebrates, Climb the Ranks is what I called off. Mob 47, Tank, Salvage, Crush Your Soul, Am I Really the Same? The Chisel, Living for Myself. Crazy there's no Chisel song on the list this year. It just goes to show this was a really good year. Street Sweeper, Don't Wait. Came in at the end of the year. I love Street Sweeper. So good. Goddamn, I'll finish with like my giant list. Dan, let's go to you next.
Okay, so I'm going to go fast. I am going to avoid the blow up. And you know why? Because, and you've probably blown me up right now.
No,
in
no,
the
no,
edit.
no. I'm going to watch. When you start, the clock will start. You got 30 seconds.
Oh, come on. All right, well, I'm going to go fast. So
no, Dan,
let
you
me-
can take a breath. You can like take your
Yep.
time. I will start the clock when you start reading names.
This is such bullshit, but okay. Forever Fighting, Direct Threat, Baptism of Fire, Punitive Damage, Cry Your Eyes Out, The Chisel, Workhorse, Lexan, Withdrawal, Canale Real, Wish You Were Here, Neutrals, X-Ray Eyes, Berthold City, Beg for Release, Problems, Face the Pain, Dave, Split System, Mind Control, Collateral, Crush All Fraud, Steamroll, Untitled, Scarab, New York Minute, Missing Link, Wash Clean, Terminator, Laissez Mourir, Justice Divine, Bow to None, Rat Cage, Outnumbered, Cannonball, Bleeding, Blow Your Brains Out, Sparks, Dry Socket, La Clé de Reek.
Time's up, sucker.
Chris, honorable mentions, and take your time, buddy.
I love that as Dan got closer to the buzzer, he got louder. It was like this big long crescendo. It was awesome.
He was
I don't
turning
want to die in a nuclear bomb.
he was turning into Pat Dubar at the end there.
All right, I'm just gonna shout some bands that I don't think were named yet, so maybe somewhere. But Justice Divine, Cherub Chains.
Whoa! It's songs, dude. Come on.
I don't. For my honorable mentions, like pick a song.
Dan, hit that button. Go ahead, Chris.
That's all. I'm done with this podcast. No, I don't even remember where I left off. I'm gonna have to start all over. No, I think I said Accelerate, Next Level, Raised Wrong, Ceramic, Roving, False Salvation, Wreckage, Bootlicker, Step by Step, Chopping Block, HopeCon, Identity Shock, Firestarter, Execution, Will to Speak, Force, Freeze Out, Speed, Gun Fever, and Walk Alone's new demo from last week. All of those had at least one track that I really like and would put on honorable mentions.
Kevin, honorable mentions.
Reeks Tier Group A, Split System, The Wheel, Missing Link, New York Minute, or Numbers on the Board, Crush Your Soul, Uncle Junior, Face the Pain, Wrong Idea, Alienator, Survival, Fools Die, Intro into Broken Spirit, Fatal Realm, The Gift, Fucked Up, You're Not in Control, and Living Nightmare from their 24-hour record that you can't find online anymore, Burning Lord, Walls of Fear, High Viz, Gone Forever, and Chisel Bloodsucker.
Dude, Missing Link, New York Minute, not getting on is fucking crazy because like that really, when that got Song of the Year, I was like, yep, that should be Song of the Year. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. Okay, Anemic Interior, All's Angels, Ceramic, Crybaby, Corrective Measures, The Show, No Way Out, Falling Man, Echo Chamber, Burning Pyre, Forced Humility, Burning Aside, Ultimate Disaster, Ruination, Direct Threat, Forever Fighting, Accelerator, Nothing, AWOL, Tear 'em to Bits, Clons, Nemesis, Major Pain, MPS, Existence, Pain of Expecting Pain, Bad Beat, Punisher, Planet on a Chain, We All Fall, Identity Shock, Blood Beat, Simulacra, Heathen's Prayer, Accelerate, Put Me Down, Terminator, Wash Clean, Hardick, Freedom, Bayway, Hurt Feelings, No Idols, Buzzkiller, Alienator, Buried Alive, Bootlicker, Held by the Threads, Step by Step, Save Face, High Viz, Drop Me Out, Bloodstains, Suburban Suicide,
Sight.
Chubby and the Gang, The Bonnie Banks, another one, Wild that's not on here, Charman, I'm doing this one like Chris, that whole new album, What's Up, Missing Link, New York Minute is a Song of the Year, but my favorite is Scraps for the Dog or whatever, Armor, the song Freedom, Fatal Realm, The Gift, Cut Down, AOD, Dismissed, Snowblind, Hindsight, Dying to Say, Compulsion, Big Attitude, I Want to Destroy, Final Resting Place, Mundane Reflection, Mean Genes, I Don't Give a Shit Anymore, Lasso, Encuentro Descansa, Carriga, Pedra, Punitive Damage, Chains of Hate, Face the Pain, Wrong Idea, Our Fight, Gone, Scud, Fuck Your World, Execution, Your World, and Pluto's Kiss. One goddamn 2024. Hell of a year. Final thoughts, Dan.
Final thought is that it's a year that, like, when I was like gathering this for the last like 2 weeks, I was thinking, yeah, there was some good stuff, but you know, was there that much good stuff? And then the more and more I dug in, there is like some absolutely great stuff, and it, as Kevin alluded to earlier, makes me so excited for 25. You know, it just makes me scared to be as old as I am, being a lifer. You know, it's like, oh, shut up, Grandpa, get out the fucking way. You know, but hey, I love hardcore. I love talking about it, and I love enjoying it, and I loved meeting people out there who happens to listen to the pod and then say, oh yeah, have you checked this out? And getting those little like people saying, you may not have heard this, check this out. It is what, you know, hardcore is all about. So, you know, ta-ra to 2024 and hello to 2025. What you got?
Yeah. We'll be back in 2 weeks with what we're hoping for in 2025 and all that. Chris, 2024, final thoughts on the year and the pod.
2024, great year for hardcore. Every year is a great year for hardcore, and hyped to just celebrate it with y'all today. And you know, everyone listening, please continue to share some of your favorites in the comments on your socials, because like there's stuff that you know, there were a few on this playlist that I hadn't heard yet, and I'm super excited to hear them. And every year when people share their stuff, there's always these curmudgeons that say, no one wants to see your Spotify rap, or, you know, no one wants to see your top 10. But like, I don't know, I love it because there's always stuff that slips through the cracks. And you know, it's this time of year I always catch something that I missed earlier in the year. So appreciate the shares, and hyped to jump into another great year for hardcore 2025. Let's do it.
Yeah, Spotify rap, I agree, dude. I don't give a fuck. But top 10 hardcore lists, I always want to see them, dude. You know what I'm saying? Kevin, final thoughts.
Yeah, I thought that this year was great. A lot of records that really were just raging and really fast, which is what I was drawn to this year. But there was really something for everybody. I think we covered a lot of this on this list. And then, you know, there was so much good stuff. Some of the best songs of the year were in the honorable mentions. So I think that there was good hardcore all over the place. And I feel like it's almost a straw man argument at this point. But if somebody says that hardcore is not cool anymore, that the bands aren't good, you're just not looking, you're not trying, because there's stuff all over the place. So it was a great year. And like I said earlier, I really think that next year is set up to be a really fucking awesome one. There's already some records that I've heard a little bit that I cannot wait to hear more of. So yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, and in a world when people act lame, you know, like Mob 47 laid it out, right? Like they came back, they're fucking ancient, and they laid down one of like the best hardcore records of the year, right? So it's like, if anyone ever tells you hardcore is dead or the shit is fucking tired or whatever, it's like you can always go to that Mob 47 record, and it's something to strive for. You know what I mean? Like that thing is so insane by dudes that like put out one of the greatest hardcore 7-inches in, I believe, 1984. So like, god damn, dude, 40 years later, they put out their first LP and it's a fucking blazer. Like, it just really puts it all in perspective, dude. Like, you know, 7 seconds, young till I die, right? Like, you can like get old and be a barnacle, or you can get old and put out a LP like Mob 47. You know what I mean? Like, age is just a number. It's the way you think, the way you live, and that's what's up. Okay, Dan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Southpaw Instagrammer, and come on out to Fucking in the Bushes or Leisure.
Chris, where can people find you?
Chris Williams 51 on Instagram and Blue Sky.
Kevin, where can the people find you?
Not Fair to Flare on Instagram and Fall Salvation. Check it out. Demos on Spotify, everywhere you want to listen to it, and on Instagram too.
That's right. Everyone, give the pod 185 miles south at gmail.com. I respond to everyone. We're also on all the socials, 185 miles south. There is a playlist for every episode, 185milessouth.com. Click the playlist link at the top of the page, or just look for us on Spotify. Everyone, we love you all. If you want to support the podcast, smash that Patreon button. We will be back on Monday behind the dreaded paywall on Patreon, and we will talk 2025 in 2 weeks. God damn, this year flew. What is going on, dude? All right, we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Culture of Death, Planet on a Chain, Ask Yourself, Pluto's Kiss, Signs of a Different Time, Castillo, Chains of Hate, Punitive Damage, House of Tolerance, No Idols, Paradise, Ankle Biter, First and Last Song, Kriegshög, Gone, Our Fight, Ripped, Goon, Two Daggers, Snuffed, La Force, Fine Equip.